Hey, PS, great. The last digit of your like on this video is someone from the meme background, and the last digit of your subscription to my channel will show your subject from the meme playground. So come down right now, subscribe and like. Look at the screen. Pay attention to the last digit of your like and your subscription. And write someone from chalk background in the comments. It's simple if your like is the 8th, and the last digit of the subscription is number 5 here and a lemon with a cactus. Show your imagination and enjoy your viewing. And great, dear friends, you're on the Melancholy channel. In this video, we'll talk about the pros and cons of updating 16.0. But before the start of the video, as always, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys for getting into my video. And if you want to get into my next videos, then everything is quite simple. You need to subscribe to the channel and like it, write your top comment. Well, don't forget to subscribe to the cart link as always in the description. In general, I will not be on your time and enjoy your viewing. Well, to begin with, I would like to talk, of course, about the minuses, of which in my opinion there are actually much more than pluses. And let's move on to the first one. And this is the duration. What do I mean by the word update duration? That is, this is the exit after 15.0 to 16.0 and the exit time of 16.0 was a month and a half, which is very much for the meme playground and for the number of updates in principle. Meme Playground is a game that needs constant optimization, updating, adding new content. Because it quickly becomes uninteresting without this new content. And unfortunately, these were sacrificed by the developers. I don't know what they have in mind and why the update is taking so long. This is quite strange in my opinion, because they inserted ads, which means the team has become bigger. But the quality or speed of these updates leaves much to be desired. Well, the second minus is optimization and bugs, which actually just makes you a little horrified why such a weak work has been done on optimizing this update. Even my PC sometimes has buggies and lags that are associated with new items. These are armored personnel carriers, which generally do not understand how it works and why, despite the fact that you unfold it, it just crumples like I don't know, like a piece of paper. It's actually pretty weird. In addition to the APC, there are a huge number of bugs that actually just make you horrified. Why is this so and why is optimization at such a poor level? The old buggies that are present have not been removed and for some reason new ones have been added, which actually kill the game despite all the interest of these bugs. What do you think about this disadvantage? Write in the comments. Well, the next minus is the number of new items, which, as for me, is actually a huge minus. Just imagine, at 16 o'clock, which we have been waiting for a whole dash and a half for 2 months, we added only a scooter, that is, a scooter, an APC and basically everything. That is, these are all the items that have been added, not counting, of course, the laser cannon, which was behind the announcement for a very long time. This is basically a weapon from the vote. Just imagine, it's just some kind of absurdity. Despite the fact that autosave was added, it is the number of items and just a small amount of content, this can be immediately written down as a minus. Agree with me, it's pretty strange that only items are added in a month and a half. It was possible during this time to add, I don't know, a new character, new cars, new backgrounds, elements. There have already been so many interesting ideas that can be easily implemented, it's just incomprehensible to the mind and they add only 3 subjects. Pretty strange, wouldn't you agree? Well, the next minus that follows from this. The minus is the quality of the update in principle. That is, if we add up all the terms, then we get what is, in principle, a very poor quality update. A huge number of bugs, even those items that were added. The physics of these subjects is not very good and, in principle, the quality of execution. That is, we get the fact that, in principle, the update is of rather poor quality, which clearly refers to a huge disadvantage. Of course, write your opinion in the comments. Well, the last minus is that despite the fact that there is a buggy, well, okay, they are there, it's okay, but the lack of fixing these bugs. Remember, earlier in previous versions, when maybe the studio was different, the developers always took care of the fact that you need to constantly add fixes, bugs. That is, let's say there was a version 15.1, let's say 14.2, which necessarily had optimizations, buggies, and so on. All this was corrected and more or less everything was adequately felt. Now there is just a global update after a global update. And it's pretty strange that 16.0 and the next 17.0 will come out, I'm sure not soon. Because there are no prerequisites for the exit of 17.0 as such in principle. And it's been more than a month practically. And now it's strange that a month has passed without a rumor, not a spirit, not a single fix, not a single update. In general, it's pretty strange, which is not typical for the chalk of the playground, and for this game it's pretty strange, agree with me, and this can also be attributed to a minus. Well, let's smoothly move on to the pros. Well, the pros are actually a bit compared to the cons in my opinion. So, an APC and a laser weapon with a very cool property can be considered a plus. Yes, laser weapons are actually pretty banal, but the properties of this weapon are pretty good. It is reflected, there are a lot of interesting chips, it sets fire, that is, quite an interesting weapon that deserves attention. And unfortunately, at first I didn't really appreciate the laser gun. But now I appreciate the laser gun and its properties. And in fact, I think it's a pretty good gun, and the upgrade more or less seems good from this gun. And the APC, too, it seems to be poorly implemented, but it seems to be an APC, this is the very essence. He shoots, he drives, it's cool. But here, too, there are two sides of the coin. Why is it needed in principle? I don't know. He has a cool property. No, the Jeep was already essentially the same before, they just made the model a little wider and added a cannon. In general, it is quite strange, and the APC can still be attributed to the pros, despite all its weaknesses. Well, I would also like to include a scooter as a plus. Despite all its, let's say, uselessness and inferiority, as I thought at first glance. But I've reconsidered my opinion. It's fun for movies. That's really for a content maker, a scooter is a pretty good thing to do sub-shoots, spans, that is, it's a really cool useful feature. But in fact, the scooter has no more properties, it is in fact useless, but as for just such a chip for a content maker. Well, okay, it would be nice to keep it, let's say. Well, the last one just for today is an autosave. Really, this is the chip that we have been waiting for, and we are still waiting for such. Really cool thing, autosave is a necessary useful thing. I just want it to be improved constantly and constantly worked on its quality. Perhaps you can add slots for this autosave, and a lot of interesting movement in principle could be done with this cool chip in this menu. What do you think about it? Write in the comments, it will definitely be interesting for me to read. That's really your comments I often read, despite the fact that I don't always answer simply because there are a lot of you and I simply can't break up at all. Well, my video has come to an end. Write in the comments what do you think are the pros and cons of this update. Well, this is where my video comes to an end. Thank you all for watching, good luck to everyone, so far, and I remember my friend, as always, I'll see you the other day.